Hello and welcome to the Outspoken Artist Imaging 2024 edition. I am here with PPA President, photographer, podcast host Kira Derryberry. How are you?
I'm great. This is my wave. This is my presidential wave. Sometimes it's like nobody can see this that's listening, but sometimes it's that like a Miss America wave with just a wrist, and then sometimes it's a backwards sort of queen-like.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get here by being stopped?
I've been trying to pad in every time I have something I have to be at. I've been trying to pad in an extra 30 minutes, and the longer this, we're on the last day, and it seems to get longer and longer every single time. I did sleep in this morning, so I was, so I'm a little more refreshed, but I didn't pad enough time, obviously. So let's see, it took me 30 minutes to get here.
30 minutes. So that's why I think Jeff told me, she has you at 11. I'm like, it's 11:30 that we're scheduled. Like,
no, I totally had you. I might have had Jeff at 11.
Okay.
But I had myself apparently I had myself for 11:45 or whatever. Yeah, 11:45.
It worked. But I really appreciate being my guest here. Can you tell me a little bit about your origins with imaging?
Okay, origins with it. Well, I think the first time I went to imaging was 2011, 2012, as a member, as a brand new member. And it was in Arizona. And I thought, it was the biggest thing I'd ever gone to in the industry, and I was kind of just getting into the industry. Despite being a photographer for a long time, I was just starting my business. And so that's the beginnings, and I had a great time. I went to a ton of classes. I stayed up way too late. I had the full experience, and I was lucky that I was with a group of people that had been many times, and I had an instant network of people that kind of showed me how to have a great time at it. There's several different ways to enjoy imaging, and I think I packed them all into that first one.
Nice. Mm-hmm. And what made you want to come back to the next one and the next one and the next one?
It just became something I just look forward to every single year. I'm the kind of personality that does resets and builds back up by being around people. Extrovert, that's the definition of an extrovert, right? So I don't need downtime alone. If that actually makes me kind of just bummed out, know. So and especially since I was coming from a world where I worked in an office. I used to work in advertising, but nothing so exciting in advertising. I was a programmer.
Okay.
But I had coworkers. You know what I mean? And I had people I could take a break with or go to lunch with or whatever. And then when I became an entrepreneur and opened a business, I was alone. So I found a really awesome community in Tallahassee, where I'm from, with the Tallahassee Professional Photographers Guild, and that became my core group that introduced me to the state organization and then ultimately to PPA.
For those that may not know, what type of photography genre do you gravitate towards?
Well, I started out kind of doing everything but events, because I kind of thought what I was doing was specializing. I was like, well, as long as I don't do weddings or events, I'm specializing, you know what I mean? But I basically just did everything else. It started out family photography. I added a boudoir brand. I was doing a little bit of corporate stuff on the side. But because I came from the advertising realm, I had all these friends in communications that were moving into different jobs and roles, and they found out I opened a business, and they were hiring me to do headshots. So headshots and commercial photography for advertising slowly started to eat up all the other niches that I was doing. And so now where I'm at is about 80% corporate commercial work, and 20% more higher end family portraits they're coming to me because I do it a specific way.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you find yourself that with being president of the PPA, is that pulling you away from your creativity? Is it taking your time? Or are you still able to be a creative?
Well, it's only putting me in front of other amazing creative minds. You know what I mean? So I have been, thanks to being on this board, I think it's been, I can't quite figure out if it's been 8 years or 9 years. I think it's been 8 years at this point, and it'll be 9 by the time I'm off. But I have, just by way of serving, I have met the most amazing and talented and rock star photographers in every sense of the word, just brilliant people. And it's hard not to be around other brilliant people and not become inspired. It's not the way I used to be doing things when I had more time. But it's certainly by way of absorption. So So I feel very creative, but I'm just living vicariously through all these famous people I'm meeting.
That's wonderful.
So-
Can you tell me of a time, whether through being on the board or being a member of the PPA, that something happened that just resonates with you? You still can tap into that memory that might have just been impactful for you.
Now you put me on the spot.
I know, I crossed my legs too.
I'm doing. Yeah, I know. Well, everyone's feet and legs hurt, so we're all like, let's take pressure off this foot. You know, can it be super recent?
I don't care. Be anything.
Because I have loved this entire journey on this board because I'm almost off, right? You know, when I'm president, this is kind of the close of the presidency. I'll be off at the end of February, but I'll be chair of the board, and this is my last year on the board. So by February of oncoming year, I will be completely done. But this imaging has been very emotional. Oddly, I think imaging is. I'm going to cry at some point at every imaging. Not on your podcast.
I do.
I have no more tears. But yesterday, having been kind of hosting the award and degree ceremony and having some technical difficulties there, and then being a part of the new IPC, which I'm so excited about, and just, I don't know, I've never felt more loved and supported by the community here, not just the membership at large. This is why it's becoming harder and harder to get down the hallway. But last night in particular, I was approached by so many of the people that helped put me here, building me up and making me, like just building me up and making me feel so appreciated and supported. If it wasn't for this organization and the people that I have met in it, I don't know, I would not be the person I am right now. And at this moment in my life, I feel like I could really do anything. I feel so supported and loved. Is that an answer to your question?
It's a great answer.
Okay.
If someone's out there on the should I or should I not go to imaging, and tapping back to when you came in 2012, what would you tell them? Because back then you made the choice to come, but if they're tithering on whether or not to come, what would you tell them?
Well, everyone's experience is going to be different. But what I keep telling, we have like a new member meet and greet, and so I said a few words there, and everything I've been telling all the new people that have been here this year is, having been on both sides of it now, this is going to change your life in some capacity. It doesn't mean that you're, it changed my life in this way, but it's going to change your life in another way. And that is such a weird, I don't know if nursing conventions have that kind of effect on people, you know what I mean? But because this is a vocational convention, when you get down to it,
right.
So how many communities exist in a professional realm that can have such an impact? Imaging USA is going to change your life as long as you participate, show up, engage in the community, take the classes, put yourself out there. You're just going to come out a better person at the end.
I would agree. Mm-hmm. And with the PPA, with the recent changes to say for the merit system and whatnot, what are some upcoming changes or wish things that could happen for the future for PPA?
Well, PPA is always focused on making sustainable businesses, making photography a sustainable vocation.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not just a hobby, not just a side gig. If it is a hobby or a side gig, that's okay, but this is a real profession. This should turn out a real salary. This should turn out real benefits for you. You should be able to thrive. So all what we are concerned about is educating photographers. It's not all, but our main goal is to educate photographers to be the best entrepreneurs they can be so that they can find success in a lifetime career in this. We are in the future here, we've got some stuff I can't talk about yet, but we have some incredibly exciting things coming for our EDU, which is our online platform for videos and stuff. We've got some cool stuff in the books for that. We've got some cool stuff for Imaging USA, again, I can't talk about, but know that it's based on that idea. Everything that's coming, even the changes to IPC, even the changes to the merit image review, the introduction of both items, all of that is there to make you better at your craft, better at your business, and better at this career. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay.
It does. And how was that award show yesterday? I missed it. I wanted to see Blu-ray up there. How was that received?
Well, the IPC last night was the most fun I've had. Look, I've been a national judge for a little while now. and I love image competition, but in the sense, image competition has been a solemn affair. You know what I mean? It's not a head-to-head thing. It's always been like an image is up, the judges study it quietly. It's a little bit of a dog show. You know, and I like dog shows. You know what I mean? But like, the image is up. We all look at it. There's a decorum to it. There's no talking. There's no audience anymore. You know what I mean? And so it's very quiet and long, and I don't know. You know what I mean? But I haven't seen an audience to view image competition in like what I have been seeing on Saturday for our preliminaries and at the award show. I mean, packed at the award show, just a full house. I mean, like, and I've not seen excitement in so long, and it makes me so happy because this is what makes you better as a craftsman, as a image maker, right? It doesn't really make you better at your business. Let's be honest about that, right? But I mean, it does make you better and want to be better photographer. People are waving at me, and it's very distracting. Hi.
I think that by opening up the curtains, letting people be a part of the process, just adds a whole new level of excitement. That's what I've heard from people.
Yeah.
And I wish I could have been there, but it sounded great. The fact that it's more of like a live event.
It honestly couldn't have gone better. I mean, everything we hoped for happened. Everything we planned for happened. Everything we didn't plan for happened. I mean, it was just like, it just couldn't have been more emotional. I'll tell you, the person who won, he was in the audience, and the image that won, the woman who was in the picture was his mother, and she was in the audience.
Oh, wow.
And when he won that award, and I bring him the big Ed McMahon check, because I got to have a giant check. I've never held a giant check, and it was so cool. I should have gave you that answer as my highlight. I held a giant check. So I'm giving him that. They're giving him awards. It's just everyone screaming and hollering, and he just burst into tears. And then I got to meet this Mrs. Jones. That was his mom, and I got to meet her, and she was in all the. It was just. I mean, you could cry all night from witnessing that. It just couldn't have gone better.
That experience sounds like it would be so, especially because one thing would be to be told that you won, but be around your peers celebrating that moment.
And the people, the top category winners, I mean, which there were cash prizes for them as well, you know, but they couldn't have been happier. You know what I mean? Like, how could you be bummed out? Even though, I mean, everyone was a winner that was on that stage. Everybody had top of category that was on the stage, but I was backstage watching those potential, that group of 16 that was waiting to go on stage and find out if they won the money. I was on that stage in the back, and I was watching them smile at each other, hug each other, root for each other as the images come up, hug each other. The people the competitors, which you would think would bring out kind of like a feistiness in people, there was so much love behind the scenes and support. Again, coming back to what I've always found PPA has provided and Imaging USA has provided, they were rooting for each other, you know, and they knew when their images were up head to head. They were letting them know, you know, they just didn't know who was going to be they knew who the final two were, but they didn't know who was going to be the winner. So, I mean, it was just an emotional night.
That's awesome. It sounded awesome. With your tenure coming to an end, how does that make you feel?
It's bittersweet. I'm going to miss it. I mean, there's no way around that. It's when you spend a decade of your life doing this and being in this role, certainly not as president, but as a board member, and it's gonna be missed. You know what I mean? Like it's it's part of my life. You know, it's a part of how I work. But also, like, dude, I'm gonna have so much extra time. I have a business to run, you know, and that has always been a bit of a balancing act. I'll give you an example. This year as president, I have traveled more in my life. I made diamond status on Delta. Like, that's stupid. That'll never happen again, you know. But I've traveled so much this year, and I tried to prepare for it. I raised my prices before I left, you know what I mean, before this year started. I've been planning for this for a long time so that I could shoot less and still at least break even, you know, still make what I made the year before. But because I felt so away from my business the whole time I was away, I would come home and I would pack as much work as I could into every breathing moment that I was home, thinking that I was not hitting the marks, even though I could see I was hitting the marks. I ended up shooting 220 sessions last year.
Impressive.
Yeah, and it's not a brag, but the year before I shot like 200. I shot 20 more this year.
No, it's impressive given the fact that you have all this traveling as well.
Yeah, well, I guess I just panicked and I was like, well, if somebody, so I wasn't saying yes to everything, but I was also not giving myself a lot of days off, so, and I'm grateful that my family was incredibly everyone just knew what we've all been working towards this year. It's not just me, it's everybody involved has been working towards this year.
Well, with all that free time, now we can pivot perfectly. Tell me about the podcast that you have with Mary.
Oh, I love well, first of all, Mary Fitz-Taylor is one of those people in this community that has built me up so much and has been such a kind BFF, such a great friend and a mentor and just a support, So we became friends back when I was studying to become a judge. To become a PPA judge, you go to a judge's school, you go to a class, and she was judging. In those days, she was, the judging was live, but it was, again, a solemn affair. And so she was a judge, and I was in class for it. And in the evenings when people would hang out or whatever, that's when I met her, And we hit it off right away. And then we just kind of, once I got on the board, I was on the board of directors, right? Okay. It was like the year before. So when I was elected to the board of directors, she and I just connected, And then on one trip one day, we were having so much fun and we were making so many jokes. I was like, hey, we should have a podcast. And she goes, we should have a podcast. But what you guys don't know is if you say we should do a thing, all the plans are in place. She's like, I agree with you and now it's done. So, what was just us having a great time talking about work and laughing and telling jokes and sharing our highs and lows just became we should record this. And I think we're on year 4 of it.
With religious recordings and postings.
Well, you say that, but not towards the end of this year. But yes, we're coming back to that. Yeah.
That's forgivable when you see how many episodes you've done, and it's called Get Your Shoot Together.
Get Your Shoot Together, which my husband named, by the way.
Clever.
Yeah. Get Your Shoot Together with Kira Mary and yeah, we just have a good time. And we used to really, you're a podcaster. We used to really have structure in the beginning. We want to have this really nailed down. We want to sound really professional. We are going to plan our topics and we're going to pre-discuss them. We're going to have a run of show. We just threw that out the window of the first 5 episodes or whatever. And ever since we just go, you got a thing to talk about today? And she'll go, no, do you? And I'll go, yeah, I got a thing. I'm going to hold it. And then I got a funny story and then let's go. And so I save things now. We talk all the time, but I save things and she saves stories so that we can do them together on the podcast. I've got one I want to tell her right now just from this show, but I got to hold it because I want to do it with her on the show.
Nice. Nice. That's good. It keeps it more fluid and then you get the actual reaction of what that person thinks.
Yeah, no, if you hear us scream or cry or whatever, it's authentic. It's happening in real time.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How do you find your show?
I was like, I find it, fun and no. Where do I find my show?
Where can we listen?
Where can you find my show? I'm tired. We can find it basically everywhere where podcasts are played. It's on everything. You can find it on iTunes and Spotify and I don't know. Those are the only 2 I think count, but there's other ones that you can find it.
I've been asking this question to not everybody, but most people. If you can become an expert at anything instantly, what would it be, Kira?
An expert in anything in what?
In anything. If you like The Matrix, right? Something can get downloaded and boom, you're an expert at it. What would that something be?
I guess dance. I would just love to be an amazing dancer. Is that insane?
No, because I see the dance floor at the parties and people are dancing and I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I just want to tear it up in there, but I don't have that.
No, listen, man, we're going to tear it up tonight. Here's the thing you don't know about me because we don't know each other very well. This is literally the first time.
Hi, good to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you. I both enjoy, I'm a constant karaoke person, right? We have a karaoke set up den in my home, right? And I love it, and I love hosting karaoke, and I love a sing-along, right? But maybe even more than I love karaoke is a safe space for an adult woman over 40 to just dance her butt off. We talk about why do you come back every single year? I need to add in that the Imaging USA closing party is my safe space to be complete fool on the dance floor from start to finish. I prepare for it. Like I'm like get a good. I've had so many speeches to give and stuff I've had to do, and this is like the slowest day for me is the last day. But I literally was like I need to get a good night's rest, sleep in, so that I can tear it up tonight.
Are you like stretching?
I'm stretching. I've got sports aids and clothing. I'm just good solid shoes. Like I'm not going to be going out there looking like a cute lady in heels. I'm going out there so that I don't like break my ankle on the dance floor when I go to dance. So I'm going to be there immediately upon. DJ Steve is one of my friends. He's actually from my hometown.
Okay.
In Huntsville, Alabama, and he has DJ'd weddings I've been in as a bridesmaid, and he has allowed me to sing on there. We're not doing that tonight. Please don't worry, anyone. But he's so good, and he's such a good DJ, and he's so perfect for this. So I hope you're going to go out there and just know that it's going to be so packed, that dance floor. It's not a little bit. It's not like a wedding where some people have too much to drink and they dance. It's going to be full, and nobody will care or see you dancing. You're just going to be out there jumping. You could be the worst, and it would still be caught.
I forgot about it because I've been so focused doing this.
I know, I'm sure. I really hope you do it. I can't emphasize that enough.
No, I'll definitely make it.
Find me out there.
I just forgot it existed.
I know.
I blamed karaoke night. So if there's a difference in my voice registry from the last episode of this one, karaoke.
I don't know. I was like, I shouldn't have scheduled this on the last day with you because I sound like I have a smelly cat voice from front, and you did karaoke last night, so we're just a mess at this point, right?
Yeah, it's great. We're doing
These are
good.
my friends. Hi, guys.
Hello there. That Connor over there, he's from Huntsville, Alabama.
These girls are from Huntsville, Alabama. It's like I said Huntsville, Alabama, and all the Huntsville people just showed up.
Yeah. Even of course, Jeff, Huntsville.
Yeah. Huntsville. Look, Huntsville's a great town.
Yeah.
But don't move there because these girls are killing it in their businesses and they don't want you there.
This podcast is sponsored by Huntsville, Alabama.
The Rocket City.
Last question for you. Do you have a quote or any belief that you instill on your family, friends, yourself that you live by?
Nobody cares as much as you think they do.
Isn't that the truth?
I'm just telling you. You get in your head about everyone. If I try this and it fails, everyone's going to know I failed. If I get up and stand up in front of everyone and show like my truth or do something, people are going to judge me. If I walk into a room and and maybe I embarrassed myself at some point, or maybe I made a mistake and people witnessed it, everyone's going to go, oh my God, I can't believe she's in there. Nobody is worried about it as much as you are. Nobody is thinking about it at all. And it's taken me a really long time to get there. To get there like in my own mindset, because I have grown up with an anxiety disorder, honestly, and I have been trying to overcome it for years, and you'll never overcome it completely, right? But I know, and I repeat to myself when I'm feeling embarrassed or if I'm feeling like I want to try something but I'm scared to try it, nobody cares if you don't do it perfect. Nobody cares. It just shows that you are real and that you tried something. And in fact, that inspires others to do the same. So is that a good enough quote?
I think that's great.
Okay.
And it's spot on. Before I forget this, in regards to your photography, we already talked about the podcast. Where can people find your work? KiraDerryberry.com.
Instagram /Shakira, because my actual name is Shakira, Shakira. And that's where they can find it.
Awesome. Mm-hmm. And lastly, do you have any questions for me?
What's your favorite thing so far about imaging?
People.
The people.
People's what drew and created this podcast. My first imaging was last year.
Mm-hmm.
I met Jeff, Connor, and them, then other people, and I loved it. I always had the mentality that photographers were competitive in nature, is dog eat dog. And because of that, this podcast came about, because people are great. I want to showcase them, and just because you never know.
Isn't that true? Weren't you so afraid? I was so afraid when I joined my local community and that group in Tallahassee. I didn't want to go. People kept inviting me. They kept inviting me, and I kept going, no. They're going to hate me because I started a business, and they don't want to share the business.
Trying to keep your secret.
Yeah. Why would I go to a group where a bunch of people do the same thing I do? Aren't they just going to be mad that there's another person to compete with? Did I steal any of their clients? Because I don't know, and I went there and they were so nice and welcoming and they gave me margaritas and it was awesome.
Yeah. So
And yeah, they're great.
that's a takeaway. Just do it.
Just do it. There might be margaritas.
There might be. Kira, thank you for being part of my show.
Thank you. Thanks for
And
having
I
me.
will ideally, hopefully, see you tonight tearing the dance floor then.
Yeah, you'll see me and like a billion other people. It's gonna be awesome. I hope you're out there. You better be out there, buddy.
I'll be out there with comfortable shoes.
Comfortable shoes. That's important.
Yeah, that's what I have on right now.
Good.
Yeah.
Me too.
Kira, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course.